Thanks so much for joining us today. We would love to know how God is using this ministry to touch your life. Please take a moment to send your story to marathonchurch.org/mystory. Also, if you would like to support this ministry financially, you can do so by visiting marathonchurch.org and choosing the giving option that works best for you. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope you enjoy today's message.
Y'all love everybody out there? Everybody love everybody? Today's Valentine's Day. You're supposed to love everybody. One day a year, you love everybody. That's the way it's supposed to work, right? Well, not really. So I got all kinds of stuff today. We'll just have to see how this thing unfolds as we walk through. We've been talking about mouth to mouth and having relationships, learn how to deal with. We actually did children last week, and we gave out stones and blessed the children. It was really cool. I saw that this morning, and I remembered what we had done. That was good. So, well, let's talk about this. Let me throw something at you real quick. Let me just throw this out, all right? Can you love without feeling, yes or no? No. I heard a no. What if it was a yes? Oh, because we're always looking for that feeling. Now, let's think about that just for a minute, because I'll get there. So love really isn't a feeling. It's a result of love. It's actually a result of what you've done. And love is more of an action than it is a feeling. So a lot of times we like feeling and we like emotion, but we got to take that out if we're going to talk about love, okay? Because love is more an action, and it has to be acted on, and it has to be produced for love to continue. And this is where most people go. They love the feeling of love. They love the emotion of love. And they get married and all that stuff. And, you know, and all of a sudden, years later, they say, we're not in love anymore. Well, is it possible to lose love? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Because love has to be produced. Love is not a one-time thing. Aren't you glad God doesn't love you just one time? You'd be in big trouble. God produces love on a daily basis, and he acts on it. And what you fail to do if you're not careful is that you won't act on love, and you will be out of love, and love will not happen, and love will not be produced, and you'll just be married, and you'll just have children, and you'll just have a house payment, and you'll just have a car payment. You see how that works? Because love is something that has to be produced. Now, is it possible to love without feeling? Well, it is. If you take away the feeling. Now, the result of that is feeling, of course, but it's not the love itself. And a lot of people got married on a feeling, by the way. Most people look for a feeling. Some of you are here looking for a feeling today. Some of you will be loved today, and some of you will not be loved, if you understand love. You say, well, really? Well, does everybody have a warm, fuzzy feeling right now? Pretty good? Well, that's God. God's doing the warm, fuzzy for you. Because God is here and God is love. He created it. And that's why most people come to church. They do get that feeling from God. They get the Holy Spirit and they get that warm feeling because God is love and God is acting on love towards you, and that's why you feel it. A lot of times people come to church and they're looking for a church and they want to find a church that feels good. You see, that kind of thing. You need to find a church that loves on purpose, not just something that feels good. And you have to think like that. And now I'll share that way as we walk through that. Now let's think about this. A couple of things as we get in. We're going to move these two thoughts to an iCloud. Is that good? Or a cloud. I don't know which it is now. But it's some kind of cloudiness up there. Okay? It's a little vague for me. So we do this. All right. Here's two things the Bible says that you need to be concerned about always. These two things, if you can master these two things, you will have a great life and love will be produced. Okay? The first one is time. Put that in the cloud. The first one is time, going up there. And the second one is money, it's going up there. So it's time and it's money. Those are the two things, as you get in the New Testament, they're most concerned with is those two things. Because you don't have a lot of time and you don't have a lot of money, of course, but you have to purpose both of them for the time that you're here. Most of you, let me say this, most of you do not purpose your time, so nothing really gets done. And what you have to do with love, you have to purpose your time and purpose your actions towards someone in order for love to be produced. So I have to say I love you, but I just can't say I love you. Something has to happen towards you in order for love to happen. It's the same way with money. Many of you are just paying house payments and car payments. You are not purposing your money in any way. The good thing for me, what I love the most is when I'm able to help like buy chairs for the children's department, carpet, or move the kingdom with people, give money out. That's being purposed. That way I just don't have the house payment. All that goes up into the cloud and we'll come back. Is that good? So we've opened up. We're ready to go as we walk through. A couple of things as we walk through from what we know is that if you're not paying attention to it, you'll probably lose it. That's the principle of living on the earth. So everybody got that? So whatever you're not paying attention to, you're probably going to lose it. And listen, love isn't a one-time thing. Let's make sure you understand that. Love has to be produced daily. Okay? It has to be produced daily. And if you don't, it's amazing that Valentine's Day, is today. And and maybe we thought about it. I heard this morning that most husbands or guys never thought about Valentine's Day. It's amazing how we forget things. And then we run out to Milo or somewhere and try to find a card, and they're all gone. And I went to Ingles yesterday, and they had a Valentine's line, and all these guys were standing in it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, well, now, how long have we known that February 14th is coming? I did get ahead this time. I got flowers. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Okay? We'll put that up in the cloud, too. Okay? Leave that up there. So whatever you fail to pay attention to, you lose. Verses like this, let me read this, Matthew 6:26. This is the birds and the value. This is the two things that God said you need to pay attention to. Look at the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. In other words, God takes care of you. And that's never going to change. And then he says that you are a value to him. That's the thing you have to realize. And so we have to decide what's a value. And many of you, we've talked about this. You say, well, my family's a value. My church is a value. Moving the kingdom is a value. Well, we're going to find out. Because a lot of things are said, but not a lot of things are done. And it happens in your home. It really feels good on Sunday, but it doesn't feel good on Monday. So we have to realize that love has to be produced. It's not a feeling. We got to take that out. I can love you without feeling. But if I love you, then I probably will have a feeling. But if I love all feeling, I won't love you. You see how that works? Because if you love, aren't you glad God doesn't love all feeling? Okay? Because what if he didn't feel good today? You're in trouble. You see, that's the way you treat your house. That's the way you treat your home and your children. Watch this. I have a cold. I guess this is what this is. I can't hear, which might be good. I don't know. But I can't hear real well. So if I'm going off a feeling, let me tell you what I've done. I just took a sick day. But I can't take a sick day because this is the day. You see what I'm saying? So if you go off feeling, then nothing really will happen. You have to go off purpose, and love is action, is the root of action, so love has to be acted out, or love won't be produced. Can love be lost? Yes. If you fail to act, then love will be lost. And that's what happens to a lot of people. Happens to a lot of homes, a lot of things that go on with that. So we have to realize love's not a feeling. Let me do this. Paul talked about this. I'll read that in just a minute. But he talked about love. He said, if I don't have love, I don't have nothing. If I know everything, he said, if I know everything and know the secrets of God and all these things, and even if I give to the poor, but I do not have love, I'm making noise with no purpose. And so one of the things that I thought we could do, all right, this bell was much louder than I thought it was going to be, I'll be honest with you, okay? One of the things you have to do, what if we were producing love, and every time we produce love, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings, okay? So let's say that we're going to produce love, and every time that love is produced, now let's think about that for a minute, all right? Let's go through the line at McDonald's. This is going to be good. We're going through the line at McDonald's, and we're going to try to produce love because love requires action. So I'm going to buy somebody's breakfast or somebody's, breakfast cheaper, just throwing it out. So I'm going to buy breakfast, and every time we do that, we hold the bell out the window and go. We go through buy low. Can you see this happening all over Powdersville? Because Paul talked about that. He said, if you don't have love, though, you're just making noise with no purpose. And you have to think, I I want love to happen. Now, is love happening in here right now? Yes or no? We can talk. Love happening? There's potential. There is potential in this room for love to happen. Let me read some love stuff to you because I think you're going to have to figure this out, all right? I'm going to make this clear. Love must be properly produced or you can lose it. You got it? All right, let me read this to you. 1 Timothy 1:7. Let's get there. I'm going to read this to you. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but a power, love, and self-discipline. Those three things go together. You've got power, love, and self-discipline. You have to hold on to that thought. Now, let's go back to I'm not feeling it, but I'm doing it, okay? Lynn's been sick all week. She has an ear infection, and I've got whatever this thing is, okay? So I've taken enough stuff, though I'm good, really good, okay? I like this. It's good. So we decided to go out Friday night. Now, if you didn't go out on a date or whatever, I don't know. I don't know what you do, okay? I don't know if you still do cards or you still do flowers. That's called love in action. That's not, you see, that's not just, you have to think about this. So we go, and I look at Lynn, I said, you all right? She says, no, I'm not. I said, I'm not all right either. She said, you still want to go? I said, yes. She said, I do too. So we decided to go out to dinner. We go to dinner. We're not feeling good. We're not feeling it. We get out there, we start ordering, and we got food, and we're eating, and next thing we know, we're talking, and we're laughing, and we're having fun, and love happened. Even though I didn't feel it. My actions toward Lynn brought love. Her actions toward me brought love. And then we had a feeling. Okay? But I'm saying for some of you, you're not having the feeling because there's no action happening and there's no love being produced. And this is what Paul was trying to tell us. There's three things you got to watch here. You got power, love, and self-discipline. Okay? Love is not a one-time thing. So if I want to have the power of love, these three things go together. The power of love comes with discipline. And what that is saying to me is I have to plan these things to happen. I have to make these things happen. Love will not happen on its own. For some reason, you think that I do when you get married, that it's just going to last forever. And, and I won't have to do nothing. It's going to automatically happen. It is not. You will lose love and you will be divorced because you failed to act. So you have power, you have love, and self-discipline. I'm going to have to make these things happen. I'm going to have to think about this if I want to stay in love. Anytime I want to love somebody, anytime I have to purpose that. I can't accidentally love. And see, I'm not thinking that with my time. I'm not thinking that with my money. I'm not going to accidentally love. I'm going to actually purpose this. I'm going to actually help kids. I'm going to actually help teenagers. I'm going to actually help these people. I'm going to actually buy something for my wife and purpose love. This morning, I get up and I see this big old thing. It says, I love you, happy Valentine's Day. And that's all I'm going to tell you about that part. And then it comes to me. I just talked with her. She's been sick. And I said, did you get my card? You want to hear it? I'm going to tell you this, okay? I said, honey, did you get my card? She said, I did, but I don't want to open it with you not being there. I went, I'm coming home. No, I couldn't because I'm here. I'm doing this. But I'm saying it's because of purpose. That you purpose love towards someone, that's where love happens. It's not going to happen on its own. It's not just going to be automatic. Anything we do here, if we want things to happen, we're going to have to make it happen. Anything good because we live here. Love will die on the vine. It will if we don't purpose it and we don't have action toward it. And this is what he was trying to tell us. He said, if you want to feel the power of love, then love is a verb. We act it out. It's not a feeling. It's the root action of everything that we do. Falling in love. You ever seen that program, Love at First Sight? They get like, I think this is the way it goes. Okay. I don't know, Mark. I don't know. I think this is the way it goes. It's like they meet for the first time and then they get married. Right? And then they throw them all on the honeymoon and they will video it. Is that it? How do you think that's going to work out? That's just going to be a wonderful thing. Not going to happen. because love wasn't being produced. There's nothing to say that love was working there and love's being produced. You have to understand that love is discipline. It's not just a feeling. Let me tell you a story. See if you like this. True story, okay? This is in the Bible, Old Testament. This is better than the movies, just letting you know. This really happened. And there was a man involved, so there's a little bit of, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so there's a man involved, and there's a girl. Jacob, Rachel, I'm going to call her Leah. I think that's close enough. And then the father-in-law, okay? So the dad of Jacob says, you need to go find you a wife. Okay, so they didn't have Facebook, right? They don't have Match.com. So what do? You just start walking. You just see this wilderness thing going on. Walking out in the wilderness. What they do is they go to the watering hole. Now, the watering hole is not a bar. Please come back to me. Okay? Not where you were last night. All right? Come back to me. The watering hole is where they actually have water. Is that good? And they have to go to this well to get water, and everybody has to get water and water the sheep, whatever they do, okay? So he goes to the watering hole, and this girl, Rachel, happened to be there, okay? So being the man he is, she looked pretty good. There was a problem, though, because the watering hole had a stone over the watering hole. So the stone had to be removed. So Jacob walks in and says, you want me to move that? You can see this happening. That's how I got my wife. I said, look over there. She said, where's the beach? I said, right over there. Side note, women don't really care about the muscles. It's the brain and the talk. They like to be talked to. Okay. I'm kidding. I love everybody. Okay. Y'all feel that? So here we are. Here we are. So he's over here. I've lost all y'all. Ring the bell. Okay, all right. We're going to ring the bell in just a minute. So he walks over, and he pulls off the stone. I moved a stone, Rachel. And so she was so happy that he was so strong. And so she goes over and gets water and everything. And this is the man. You ready, the man? So he reaches over, and he kisses her. Why not? Why not do that? I haven't seen a woman for like 100 miles. So now I'm going to kiss you. So he kisses her. Guys, you're going to love this. I'm not making it up, okay? When he kissed her, Jacob started weeping aloud. That was a lot of crying in the Bible. Not her. He cried. Have you ever cried when you kissed your wife? This is really awkward. Nobody, okay, let's move on. All right. Anyway, he's crying. So he says, I'm going to go see your daddy. Because I go see your daddy because daddy's going to, I got to get permission from daddy. So daddy says, no, this would be awesome. Daddy says, well, you can get married to Rachel if you work 7 years for me. Now, I like this culture. Because Faith's husband, it's going to be it's 21 years for me before anybody gets married. So she said, okay, I'll do that. So he worked 7 years for this guy, and he's ready to get married. Wedding day, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She comes in. It must have been at night. It had to be. So they had the veil over, and all you could see was her eyes like this, okay? So they had the veil and everything. So they get married. Now, this is the man part. This is where the man part comes in. So they get married, and they go on their honeymoon, okay? And the next morning, he realized it was the wrong girl. Now, let's talk about that for a minute, guys. Is it a possibility? Was the lights out all the time? Do you understand what I'm saying? Did they have candles or something? Something was weird. But anyway, so he ended up marrying the wrong girl. So he goes back to you gave me the wrong girl. He said, well, I want my oldest to get married first. Now, evidently, the woman didn't have nothing to say about it. And so he said, okay, I'll let you marry Rachel, but you got to work 7 more years. You know what most of you have done? I am done looking for the next watering hole. But that isn't what he did. See, love was about to be produced. Something was about to happen. We're going. Bell's about to ring. He worked 7 more years to marry Rachel. Love is kind, all those things you hear. Love is sweet, love is patient, love is disciplined. He did not work off a feeling. He worked off a purpose. That's how love works. I have to purpose my love. I have to act my love towards someone. And you got to be careful it's not something. Because then you pull it from the cloud, you pull it back down. You say, where is my time and where is my money? What do those two things tell me? I think there's enough speeches, okay? And you're going to hear a lot more because election year. But I think there's enough speeches from us to say, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to spend my money that moves the kingdom. There's enough of that. We need to do this. Stop feeling this and start doing this. So how do we know that love? Let me give you this. This is how love happens, okay? This is what has to happen for love to take place. And how do we know this? This is how he did it. And this is how he does it, okay? The first thing has to happen for love to happen is you have to be present. Let me say this. Facebook doesn't work. You say, well, how many friends do you have? Probably none. Okay, I'm just saying Facebook isn't the place where love happens. You can argue with me, but you have to be in the present for things to take place. There is a possibility something happened here because you're present. That doesn't mean all of you will be loved, though, unless somebody loves towards you or you love towards somebody else. Otherwise, you're just sitting here. But you're at least in the room. Listen, just because you get married doesn't automatically make you a husband or make you a wife. Just because you have children doesn't make you a dad. Oh, you're in the room, okay? You're in the room, and you're at the dinner table, but you're doing absolutely nothing to move the kingdom toward them or someone else when it comes to love. You're just having to be present, but love's possible. Love's possible. Second thing has to happen is some kind of engagement or intentional towards someone else. I'm going to have to get involved in somebody's life. If I love my wife, then I'm going to get involved. I'm going to schedule. Listen very carefully. Guys, I know what you say, and I've done it too. Honey, you just tell us where we're going. Right? You just make the plans. Right? That's fine. You need to be engaged. You need to make the plans. You need to move the kingdom. Don't tell your kids you're going to be involved in their life and never show up and just sit at the table and say that's it, and everybody's playing electronics. Okay? In order for love to happen, you got to be present and you got to be engaged in what's happening towards someone, and then relationships will take place. This is exactly what God did. If God said to us, I love you, and wrote it in the sky, will that work for you? You see, there's just been a saying. There's just been a saying. There's nothing that's happened toward us. There's no way he's engaged with us, and there's no way a relationship can be formed. So what did he do? Here's how he did. He sent his son, Jesus Christ, to be present with us. So God is with us. Remember this? God is with us so that he could be present with us so love could actually happen. He engaged with us, and he also did something even better than that. He went to the cross, an intentional act of love toward you. He acted out his love, not just by saying it or being here, but on the cross, I'm giving my life for you so that on the last phase is I can have a relationship. Salvation was a relationship. Do you realize that everything he's done is for relationship? Let me ask you this. When's the last time you acted toward him? You see, we talk about acting, you say love God, love people. We talk about acting toward, God. When's the last time you did anything that purposely acted toward him and when it comes to love? What have you done with time, and what have you done with his money? You see how that works? We don't like to talk about that. We just want God to love us. No, love moves because of you. God is already acting in love every day of your life. He's waiting patiently for you to show up so that he can engage with you and have a relationship with you. That's what God does. So let me ask you this. Did you ring the bell this week? Who did you act toward in love? Who got it? Sometimes Lynn rings my bell. That's all I'll say about that. But you see how it works. You can't say, I love you. Watch this. You want to do it? And we're done. I love you. Doesn't that feel good? That feels so good. But I did nothing for you. Feels so good, doesn't it? But you see how love works. Love has to be intentional, and it has to be purpose toward the person. Whoever it is you want to love, it has to be an action. It can't be a thought. It has to be done by you on purpose. That's what God did for us. So we're going to ring bells all over Powdersville? We're going to ring everybody. We'll do that song now. Ring my bell. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. Y'all just come on up here because I'm losing it. Help me out. So stand. What's that word? What's that we did? What was that we just did? Stand by me. And there was the other one. Stand by you, man. See there? Is that what love is? Is that what love is? Standing by the person? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's what it is. Acting toward them. So you have to figure out how many bells you're going to ring this week. I'm going to be ringing bells in the children's department and some other places this week because I have purpose with my money and my time. That's what you have to think about. All right, stand with me. Please stand. Come on out here. We got a song, don't we? Pardon me for whatever I'm doing, okay? Marathon is a church that's going to love on purpose. Everybody got that? We're intentionally going to do something. We're not just going to say, hey, it feels good. We're going to do it. That's what we're doing out in the children's department. You'll see that when you go out in the foyer. We're going to do it. And I want to thank all of y'all. For so many of you have given, like even just for carpet, and we got chairs to buy and stuff. Thank y'all for doing that. We're moving the kingdom, and kids move the kingdom. We found that out last week. And that's what we're going to do. I got more things to share, but I'll do it in a couple of weeks. How about that? Share it with you. All right, let's have a word of prayer. Father, thank you for what you're doing. I pray that we'll just continue to love on purpose and move the kingdom. It's amazing what you do and how you love us. Thank you for being with us. Give us a great Valentine's Day. We love you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.